Hey, Des from Aro-Tarot here, and I watched two. I watched Veronica Rose's video, and then I also watched amberinwonderland's video about super oracles, which I've heard of. I've never done myself, and I swear I can still hear the dog even though I shut the door. I don't know if it's loud enough to actually be heard on the camera, but I can hear it. I think Mom's playing with them. But anyway, about super oracles, because sorry, notifications on the screen. Because Veronica tried with 3 different sets, and I don't have any of those things. I know I know one of them is on my to get list, but I've just never gotten around to it. But just three different, try making 3 super oracles out of like 6 decks. And the way that they worked together was they had the same like creator and the same artist. And basically, and I've seen other people do that where they'll take like 2 decks and mush them together, or sometimes like 3 decks. I know I've seen that with I don't remember the name of those 2 decks. There's this one animal and this one plant deck. They're the same artist, and I know some people will fuse them together into one super oracle. I know his name too, and I'm spacing out. Like I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Like I know it, but like at the same. Okay, I was right. I don't like being wrong. 2 of the decks where the art was done by Will Worthington. There's like I think there's a plant one and an animal one, and even the borders are kind of similar. It's like the same size, and I've seen some people fuse those 2 together. I don't have those 2. I actually don't have any that are by the same artist and by the same creator, unless one is a tarot and one is an oracle, because I have like the Pythia, got the Pythia Botanica, and I have the Veronica Rose, which are these 2, and I use them together. The thing with me, I think even if I did a super oracle, like, if I could shuffle it, there's no way I could shuffle it. I have a hard time just shuffling some oracle decks, just because of the size, you know, like, hands, you know. So I wouldn't be able to shuffle it. But even if I did put them together, I would probably see them as 2 separate decks. I do have an idea around that, though. But yeah, I have that one. Like, I have the Light Visions. I have the Prisma Visions. I have the Tarot deck that I made and the Oracle deck that I made, which are supposed to go together. So, Tarot and Oracle, so, like, I wouldn't really put those together. Like, even the Cosmos Tarot and Oracle kit, like, I've heard of someone that puts them together. I can't remember who it was. But I would never do that. To me, they're 2 separate decks. If anything, that would be kind of like adding another major, or just saying it's another suit into the deck. But I really wouldn't entirely want to do it, which is why I usually just use the tarot and not the oracle. I've thought about it so I could use both, but yeah. Just the oracle isn't really big enough to do like a full thing. It would be more of like a flip. So I'll use lately. Because, like, what got me thinking was, I was watching Amber's video, and her, like, super oracles, she doesn't put them together, but instead what she does is, like, she has, like, a deck, and she'll, pick out how many cards she's gonna pull for each one, and then, of course, when she's shuffling, she does the cards that fly out, of course. Where me, I look at the deck and when I'm just sure, it just looks like it's ready to be drawn. That's just how I do it. Of course that's just me. But then she kind of has the card, like, for the first, she did 3 by Lucy Cavendish. I can't remember who the artist is. Although her artwork's beautiful. And had like 2 cards for each one, and they kind of were all together, and she saw them kind of like as like a deck, because that's how the reading was meant to be done. And that kind of like gets rid of it makes it more almost like random in a way of everything's nice and balanced. I was trying to think of, well, what is a way that you could have them separate but actually have them random though? And then I was thinking, oh, I know. Got them in my box here. I was thinking, well, if you want them random and putting them together isn't randomizing them, and if you feel maybe like having them, like just drawing them might not necessarily be random, I was almost thinking it would be really cool. Just have to get out all the boys. Haven't really used them for like a while, so it's nice to have them out. Where's the one? I just had it out too. Where'd it go? There we go. I was going to use this one. So basically, I was thinking, well, what is something you can randomize with as dice? So I was thinking, like, eventually I will probably have decks that are actually 2 oracles from the same artist and same creator. Because I want to eventually have many decks, many friends. I mean, I don't really have much when it comes to friends in real life, so... but yeah, I was thinking, and I haven't tested yet. I was thinking about testing it just live on camera, see what happens. I'm procrastinating doing my schoolwork. I have the rough drafts done for the one class. I mostly just have to edit the one thing, take some screenshots so I can kind of show what I'm doing, and then put it into my reflection paper. And then for my other class, we basically were writing up all that we had to write up, which is like, it's like an article review, kind of like research review, critique kind of thing. And we've kind of already kind of talked about it, so I guess mostly I just have to put it in paper, so I'm procrastinating. So I think I'm going to do a reading on that. Because I'm always procrastinating. Like, I do it the day it's due, like, and give myself 5 to 4 hours to do it. So I figured that would be a good topic, to test what I'm thinking about doing out. So I was thinking, well, let's say you're doing 2, and there's no 2-sided die, but you could flip a coin. A coin would probably work if you wanted to do 2, you know? I really like dice, and I have not used them because I don't really play Magic. I don't have anyone to play Magic the Gathering with. So, kind of really, you know. And then I play Pathfinder, but we do it on the computer. So, we don't all meet up and roll our die. It rolls it for us. Yeah, so they aren't getting any use. So I was thinking dice. And with 2 decks, I was going to use a D4, but I know D6s are very easy to get. You could probably use a D6. So the way I would do it, and I have a D6 in here somewhere. It's on the bottom. There it is. My D6 out of my really pretty blue kit. So I was thinking if you're doing like 3, like have 1 through 3 be one deck, 4 through 6 be the other, or if you're doing like a 4-sided die, like this one right here, I would probably have it so it's 1 to 2 and then 3 to 4. And then I would have my 2 decks, and the thing is, I do a lot now. We'll draw, sometimes it's 2 oracles, sometimes it's 2 tarot decks, sometimes it's a tarot and oracle, and I'll just draw like a card from each deck in each position, and they're read together as a reading in itself. But at the same time, it's hard for me to think of them as one deck. They're still kind of like 2 decks, but they're working together, and like they're delivering the message together. And they fuse sometimes very nicely. I had a reading earlier in the 2 decks, like, I was thinking, I think these 2 decks would look nice together, and literally the first position of both decks almost looked alike. It was, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, I drew Perception, which is a lady on stage with some mask, and then it was the Magician out of the Triomphe de la Luna, and I was like, these cards are literally made for each other. I'm getting off track though. But basically, I think what I would do, so they still feel like a deck, I'd probably still shuffle them separately, but I was almost thinking that deck, those are two separate, but these two have different art. I mean, one of the decks has a different artist like per card. But they are by the same creator, so I could actually do it with these two decks. And I did actually buy them like the same day. They were like the first like actual like Oracle decks that I ever bought, and that was before I was even into like tarot or anything. I just thought they were really cool and I liked their artwork. So I think what I would do is I think I would shuffle them separately. So I don't really want them together. And I'm just going ahead and shuffling them. Products coming out of my hair, so my hair is just falling down. I got my hair cut today, so got it all chopped off. Like, honestly, I took in a picture of Charlie Puth from Done For Me from that video. He has nice hair. And I want nice hair. I have a concert that I'm going to Tuesday, so yeah. So about my procrastination. I know these ones I'll definitely have to look at the guidebook, because I never read with them. I don't think I've ever really done a reading with the one, and I'll hold up the box as when I'm saying what I'm doing. And then I've only done a reading with this one, maybe once or twice. They're not like my favorite Oracle decks. I don't really use Oracle as much. I'm trying to use it more, and that's why I'm doing like little 2 cards per. So instead of doing like a daily draw, it's like a daily tool draw. But they are read together as the same message. So I procrastinate, so I need some advice on that. Yeah, I feel like that's good. Okay, so the 2 decks, these ones are made by the same creator, different artists though. I mean, the one deck, like I said, has different artists throughout it. It's the Earth Magic, which I've seen some people have. This one I don't see as much, but it's messages from your animal spirit guides. And they are both by Stephen D. Farmer. So I'm going to use the D4. And let's see, how many cards will I do? So I don't necessarily do spreads anymore. I'm just going to pull, I think 4. I'll do 4 cards. I feel like 4 is a good number to deal with my problem. I need some stability. 4 is a stable number. It's very structured. I need some structure and stability when it comes to me doing schoolwork. Instead of rushing it all in. So I got the D4, and I'm going to roll. So 1 to 2 will be the messages from your spirit guide, animal spirit guide, and then 3 to 4 will be Earth Magic. So in this way, and I was thinking what I could do is to make them feel like a deck, I stuck them on top of each other. And what I'm going to do is when a, which I just saw that one bottom card, so there we go, now I don't know what it is. If it's one, I'm going to flip it from the top, and once from the other, I'll flip it from the bottom. That way, it feels actually like I'm using the same deck, but I'm not. But it's going to actually feel like I'm using the same deck. I feel like in this way, it very much more feels like I'm actually using the same deck, without that issue of clumping together. Because, like, together now it feels like I'm actually using the same deck. It's just I always have them separate, so it always feels like 2 separate decks. So let's see. First card, that is from the Earth Magic, so I'm going to flip a card from the bottom. Okay, so Stone People Vigilance. So the second card is from Messages from Your Spirit Guide. So I got Cardinal. Third card from Earth Magic. This is going to be like completely like even. And then the last card is going to be from, it ended up being literally completely even. But you know what? It was literally random. I rolled a die. And I made sure it was nice and in my hand. So, yes, I got vigilance. I can definitely already feel that. Cardinal, the polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance, so do whatever is necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. Yeah. Yeah, not really necessarily, spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures, but just that equilibrium. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Ebb and flow, which, I don't know what the word ebb means. I do see its waves, though, and I feel like it's just it's ocean, so it just feels very flowy. So I still that. And then tortoise, which is you're too fragmented to do whatever it takes to get grounded, which I literally was like, it's a nice stable number. So basically what I need to do is I need to stay vigilant. I need to actually look beforehand and watch to see what is all due instead of looking the day it's due to. Sometimes I'll look on Thursdays, because Thursdays is when discussions are due. And I don't always look on Thursdays, though. Yeah. Because I'm bad. I mean, I get A's and B's, so, I mean, there's not too much to complain about. But I need to actually keep my eye out to see what all I have to do. And I very much need to not keep myself, like, strict. I need to make sure that I'm going with the flow. I need to make sure that I'm relaxed and make sure that it's not just do this and this and this and this and this time period, because, like, being too structured, I feel like it does work with, like, right now I'm fragmented. With just, things aren't in balance. I need that equilibrium. But at the same time, I have to make sure that I'm going with the flow, because otherwise I'm going to feel very fragmented when it comes to the schedule, because it's this time at this time, this time at this time, this time at this time. When things are like that with me, it feels very separated and not like I'm going about the day. It almost feels like this task and this, you know, it doesn't flow together for me. It feels very fragmented. So I need to be rounded, but I gotta stay away from being completely like that, and I gotta make sure that I stay relaxed, which I don't really do as much when, I do it when I know there's not much to do. Like, I would have maybe even started, like, at 6 if I knew that I had a bunch to do, but then I realized that we've pretty much done drafts for my one class, and then the other class, we pretty much kind of did a draft, like, some weeks ago, so I just kind of have to rewrite it, put them all together. Make sure it's all kind of how it's supposed to be written. I've never really written a paper like that, so, yeah, at least I have some room to breathe when it comes to still having a B for the class, because I do it online, so we have a bunch of stuff we have to do. We have something we have to do, like, every week, like, usually, like, 1 or 2 things every week, so there's always plenty of room for points. But, yeah, I think that came out, like, pretty good, and it kind of actually felt like I was reading from one deck, which usually doesn't happen with me, so I think having them one on top of each other, but not shuffling it like this, allows it to still feel like you're doing it from one deck. And I kind of actually like these decks together. I don't really use these decks much. Like, I literally have a nickname for, like, all my decks except for the new ones I just got. And this deck I've had for so long, and I don't have a nickname for it because I've just never used it. So I think maybe I'll actually read them like this. I'll just have them, shuffle them separately, put them together, and then I can keep one of, well, I probably wouldn't keep one of my small ones, but I've got plenty, you know, like plenty of D20s that are specifically Magic the Gathering ones. So I could just kind of keep that in, like, it could be 1 to 10 is one deck, 11 to 20 is another deck, and then I could roll it. I don't know how balanced my dice are, because I know that could be an issue with D20s. I did try the golfing technique that golfers use to see if, you know, their ball's level. But none of my dice float, even with salt in the water. So, I don't know. I don't think I've never really noticed any of them that didn't roll too, like, if constantly low or too high. So I think they're probably all balanced, but, you know, I'll figure it out. But I think I'll actually keep doing it like this, because this is an idea for, like, a super oracle that I can get behind. And you can tell that they're two completely different decks, but this way, there is no clumping. There is no issue with shuffling because I'm shuffling them separate and then putting them together into one beautiful thing. So that was like a little experiment live on camera as a VR. I was just really curious. Like, I watched them and I was like, I wonder what would happen if you used dice to use to randomize. Of course, it ended up not being like too random. It was like literally this, that, this, that. But like at the same time, it literally was random. So yeah, because the only other two decks that I could think of almost doing that with, but I don't think they would flow together, is I do have the Dreams of Gaia, which with that it's the same, the creator is the artist. And then I do have the Mythic Oracle, which is a different creator, but it is the same artist. And this one is a tarot. I consider it a tarot, even though it's you know, has its own system. But because it's not like traditional like 78 card like tarot deck, I wouldn't feel bad about doing that with an oracle deck. I really couldn't though, because I've trimmed this one down, and I feel like the energy of them, like, kind of like, I don't know, I feel like they kind of read similar, but this one is kind of very much kind of like a mix, a different imagery, still has a lot of like more pagan kind of stuff going on, where that one is very, it's literally Greek. it's Greek gods and titans and heroes, and that can be pagan. But this one seems more of like your traditional pagan, you know? That sounded kind of like wrong the way I said it, but like, just, you know, like your more typical kind of like what you usually think of when you think of a pagan, than just like more of the Hellenic stuff. But yeah, I don't know how necessarily these ones would go, but I did want to try it with these two because they are the same creator, and they're artist wise, I don't actually know who the artist is from the spirit animals. Like, I don't know if like it's him or, because I think I once tried looking. Oh, here it is. Illustrations by B. Sturgis, and then Earth Magic. It's literally in the illustration credits. All of them are completely different. I don't even think, does B have even any in here? I don't think so. None of them look like their artwork. No. So yeah, different arts, but at the same time, that's all different artists. But yeah, I kind of just thought that this would be kind of a neat little experiment into super oracles. I do like literally like those decks and those videos. So if I end up getting like, for instance, like Alice in Wonderland and like the Shapeshifter Oracle, what was that other one? I can't remember. I was just trying to think of all of the decks by those two people. But I do really like that artwork. I know my mom's been like on and off about whether she's gonna, like, how soon basically she's gonna get the Beautiful Creatures, because she really likes that artwork. But yeah, I think eventually when I get 2 of their decks, I'll do the same thing, because I actually kind of really like this. I think it'll actually get me to use the decks. And I do think I have bags big enough to have not only that, but I do want to keep the booklets with them, which is kind of the struggle, and a die. It's going to be a lot. But I actually do really like this together. But yeah, that's just... Alistair, why are you just... Alistair's trying to move the house and like he's like lifting it up, but he's like running into the side of the pen. You're so silly. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I can find I can make a bag once my sewing machine gets fixed. That is. But yeah, I actually really like this together. Feel like they mesh. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I rambled a lot. I can't really help it. But, yeah, so anyway, I'm Jess from Aro-Tarot. This was my, Super Oracle little experiment that I just was really, like, interested in this idea of, like, trying to actually do it. And then when I realized, well, I have 2 decks by the same creator. Different artists, but they're different artists all in one deck. I'm gonna see if they actually work together. You know, it inspired me to actually try this. Because I have thought it to be really interesting, but I didn't know how it would work for me. But yeah, I like it. At least with these two. But, yeah, so, see, I'm rambling. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this before I keep talking. But anyway, I'm Des from Aro-Tarot, and I am logging off, so